Back in the pain cave, and you and I are both wondering why I am possibly subjecting myself to this pain and suffering again. Because in mid-January, I uploaded an FTP test video with some tips and tricks, and I love all the support that video got, but, and I didn't mention it in that last video, I fell just short of my personal goal on that test. I was aiming for an FTP above 300 watts, and the test you watched me take came out to 298 watts.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Thousands of people watched me fall 2 watts short of my goal. So I marked my calendar for vengeance 4 weeks later, and here's the result of my follow-up attempt. Getting started, I still recommend doing a warm-up with a few short-duration, high-intensity efforts to get your legs fired up. Nothing crazy, you don't want to burn your energy stores. I personally just want to remind my legs what 300 to 400-ish watts feel like, so my system isn't as surprised when we get to that level of intensity during the FTP test. You've seen my tips and tricks from the previous FTP test video, so let's cut ahead to the good stuff so you can watch me hit the painful blocks in this ramp. I mentioned earlier that I marked 4 weeks from the previous test to this one, and that's because I wanted to give myself time to actually get stronger before coming back for this attempt. It felt like my training plan was getting stale, and there's this famous quote that says, "Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results." So it seemed like a good time to take a critical look at my training and update my plan. There's plenty of great videos out there on how to build your own training plans, so I won't dive too deep into that here. Personally, I put my upcoming races into Training Peaks and used the performance management chart and my projected training stress scores to optimize my workouts. So, taking an FTP test doesn't necessarily count as a specific goal for me in the same way that a race does, but it's certainly a useful measure of fitness progression. And in this case, it was just a fun event to keep as motivation in the back of my mind during the difficult workouts while you're pretty deep into the pain cave. Speaking of pain and suffering, I am coming up quickly on my limit in this test. It's insane how hard that 400 watt block hits. It's like running into a wall. I swear I was cool at 360 and 380, but 400 is a slap in the face. Either way, let me remind you that Zwift's ramp test determines your FTP by multiplying your best 1 minute of effort by 75%. So I knew that if I could get the average that you see in the top center above 400 watts, that I'd meet my goal of a 300 watt FTP. Obviously I'm suffering something fierce here, but I was really feeling strong on this test, and my heart rate was so much more in control than it was during the January test. There's the point where my head says yes and my legs say no. It was fun while it lasted. Well, really not really. And in case you missed it, my 1 minute average got up to 411 watts before I popped. And then here at the bottom, when it's done counting down, it spits out your recalculated FTP. There it is, a 307 watt FTP, a bit of redemption, and most importantly, helpful validation that my updated training plan is trending my fitness in the right direction. Y'all are the best. The comments have been so nice, and all the new subscribers has been seriously humbling, so thank you. Let me know in the comments down below when your last FTP test was. And until next time, have a great ride.